Hi, welcome to Think Human. I'm Chris, and in this video I want to talk about chaos theory. So a while back, some hundreds of years ago, in the Newtonian age, it was this idea by all popular scientists that the world is deterministic, that the world works like a clockwork. It was popularized by the Newtonian gravity. You could see all of the planets, and if you know where they are right now, you could calculate hundreds of years into the future where exactly they would be. It's a perfect tool to calculate moon eclipses, sun eclipses, positions of the planet, all of this, and you could do it perfectly. And so people looked at these systems and they were like, well, everything is so predictable, so the natural world, in all to the smallest to the biggest, must be predictable as well in the same way, so that the world and the universe essentially works like a clockwork. If you know everything about it, and if you know about all of the pieces and where they are and what they're doing, then you could just run the clock into the future and you could essentially predict the future if you have all the information about what's going on right now. So this idea turned out to be completely wrong, at least wrong in the sense that the whole universe definitely does not work like clockwork. And now we come to the idea of chaos theory and the butterfly effect. So the butterfly effect would be, does some kind of small change, can it work its way up to make some kind of huge big changes in our world? This is the idea of, can a butterfly's wing flap in Mexico cause a hurricane somewhere in the United States like 3 years later or something? This is some kind of really small, insignificant initial change can make huge differences somewhere in the future. And this is the chaos theory. This is exactly the idea that some kind of a system, some small change in the starting position of the system can make larger and larger and larger changes to it in the future. And this can be illustrated by the double pendulum effect, when you can essentially start it from exactly the same position. To you it seems exactly the same place, but depending on just a fraction and a millionth of a millimeter where exactly you start this pendulum, it can change drastically the future outcome of how it will behave. We can see chaos theory in mathematics, in computer science, in sociology, in meteorology, physics, engineering, philosophy. It's amazing how this chaos effect is everywhere. People, when we found out about this, were like really disappointed because the clockwork universe sort of fell apart, and there is this chaotic effect now in the world, so we can't really predict anything in advance, like weather systems in effect. This exact idea that the flap of a butterfly's wing in Mexico can cause a hurricane in the United States, it might as well be true, and we have no idea what small kind of changes in the world can make huge differences later in the future. We see these in this kind of time travel paradoxes when people travel back to the past and then change some kind of small change, and they go back to the future and they see that the whole world is now suddenly different. This same idea of chaos, of some small change percolating up through the system and eventually making huge changes in the world. So if you ever think that what you do is insignificant or that it don't matter, just think that whatever you do can make the whole difference in the way that our whole world works. So this is the idea of chaos theory and the butterfly effect, how some really small thing can change the future in a very significant way. And it's really interesting and beautiful, the effects of chaos theory. It's the idea of fractals as well, self-similarity, all kinds of complex, unpredictable systems, and this is nature, and this is really beautiful. Chaos is a part of why nature is beautiful in a way as well, I think. So just some ideas about chaos theory. I hope you got some ideas. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any ideas, please leave them down in the comments below. Take care.